Hello everyone, hope you're all well. I wanted to talk to you about two things today. The first thing I want to talk about is open questions. Been reading a lot about open and closed questions over the past kind of 3 or 4 weeks for some preparation I've been doing for the BPM coursework. I'll talk a little bit about BPM towards the end of this video. I think as driving instructors we're all more than aware of the differences between open and closed questions, where we have closed questions that you can answer with either a yes or a no answer, or just a simple statement of fact. For example, what is the speed limit on this road? 40 miles an hour. It kind of closes off discussion. There's not really someone either knows the answer or they don't. That's a closed question. So we're encouraged to answer open questions, and usually the guidance we hear, and this is certainly guidance that I've given to PDIs over the years, is to ask open questions because they can encourage thinking processes, more thinking to take place, so that there is thought required to answer an open question. And that is still true. I still stand by that advice. But there are, I think, two distinctions to be made when we think about open questions. And that difference is the difference between an open cognitive question and an open affective question. So an open cognitive question is specifically one that encourages someone to think about the solution to a problem. So for example, if your pupil is doing a parallel park and they are struggling a little bit with the timing of the steering and the accuracy is maybe a little bit off as they're bringing it into the curb, you can ask an open question, an open cognitive question, coaching style question that says, so what do you think you have to do in order to finish a little bit closer to the curb the next time? And this question will be really good for pupils who are problem solvers, who are taking responsibility for getting things right, who are kinesthetic learners, who are more inclined to learn from their own mistakes. That's open cognitive, that's problem solving, it's thinking about things through in that way. An open affective question is very different. It's not very different, it's different. An open affective question is one that talks about feelings. So again, let's use the parallel park example. If your pupil is parallel parking and they are not quite getting their accuracy right, and they're maybe a little bit too close to the curb this time, or they're a little bit further away from the curb, and you can maybe see that they're getting a little bit frustrated, then maybe that's the time to ask an open affective question. So talk me through how you're feeling about this method you're using for parallel parking at the moment, and maybe encouraging them to talk a little bit about their frustrations, a little bit like they may be going too fast, but getting to the root of how they're feeling about this process of learning how to parallel park. You might get some responses from that might indicate it's time to maybe take a break from parallel park and go and do something else, or to change the level of support for that lesson if they want more support, and maybe a little bit more guidance and a little bit more talk through. So two different styles of open questions. Open cognitive, encouraging your pupil to problem solve and think things through. Open affective, encouraging your pupil to think more about themselves and their current emotional state and how they're handling things at that particular moment in time. The second thing I want to talk to you about is the Bright PDI Masterclass, which we launched at the Expo a few weeks ago. Really great response from everyone who's looked at the content so far and everyone we spoke to on the day. So first of all, thank you to the trainers in particular who have worked their way through that content, sent us feedback on it. So Tom and I are really grateful for that. If you're not aware of what BPM is, the Bright PDI Masterclass, it's a PDI training course that Tom Stenson and I have written for Bright Coaching, and it is built over 4 pillars. So we have foundational knowledge, advanced driving, becoming a coach, and becoming an instructor. It's built on around, I should say, a huge library of video content that Tom and I have created on the Bright Coaching website. It's a subscription model. And I'll put some links in the comments below. We're currently offering a lifetime 20% discount on that monthly subscription price. If you're a trainer, then we are hosting a Zoom call on the 14th of November. Again, I'll put the details in the comments below. If you're a trainer who's looking for a highly structured PDI training course that's mapped to the national standards, that teaches PDIs how to address the goals for driver education and human factors in every single driving lesson, and that has these three things in every single PDI training session, then BPM might be worth a look for you. The manual is going off to the printers in a couple of weeks. The BPM manual It's about a 250 to 300 page manual that has foundational knowledge hubs in it. It has detailed training sessions that your PDI can work through with extensive pre-work that the PDIs can complete before each session with a trainer. There are online tests that the PDI has to complete before each session with the trainer. And from the trainer's perspective, there's also detailed guidance in there that talks you through how to deliver these training sessions. So there's not necessarily any need for a huge big train the trainer course. You may wish to speak to a local trainer about brushing up on your skills about watching the pupil and how to do role play. But in terms of how to deliver BPM, we have detailed guidance for the trainers in the BPM manual. That'll be for sale soon on the website, and also be included in certain subscription models that we have on the site. So if you're a trainer and you're interested in attending one of our onboarding sessions, there's no pressure, there's no payment or anything like that involved, then feel free to join us on the 14th of November using the link below. If you're a PDI, you can log on to BPM and for a free preview. That's still available at the moment. You don't even need to enter your card details in there. You can just have a look at the syllabus, the structure, the library, and also the PDI training sessions, an outline of those at the bottom. And I'll let you see if you think it's going to be something that's will be of value to you. So that's all for today. It's a lovely day here in Glasgow. It's chilly, but it's lovely. I hope you all have a nice weekend and a nice week ahead, and I'll speak to you soon. Thanks.